without further ado, let's dive in and start our closing ceremonies for the 2021 Special Olympics Indiana 1,000-mile step challenge, partnered with Lilly. So, I, my name is Ryan Burke, and I want to introduce myself real quick. I am the supplier relationship manager for all of our corporate employee amenities. I get the great pleasure of working with all of the fantastic folks that run all of our employee amenity facilities, the NIFS staff that run all of our fitness centers, the Bright Horizons staff that run our child development centers, have responsibility for our food services and employee engagement. In my opinion, I have the best job in the company. I am responsible for all of our fitness, food, and fun is the easiest way to think about it. A couple of years ago, we met with Special Olympics Indiana and walked the site and started brainstorming about possibilities of partnering with Special Olympics Indiana. We conducted our bocce bash back in 2019, and it was a wild success. And everyone knows about COVID in 2020. We thought creatively about how we could continue to partner, and we created the 2020 1,000-mile step challenge. This year, in 2021, we combined both. As many of you are aware, we had the bocce bash on the Lilly Global Day of Service, and then on October 1st, we started the 1,000-mile step challenge, of which all of you team captains and your teams have been participating. I want to say a special thank you to Ashley Smith and Jacqueline Rumler for their involvement in this. We could not have done it without them. And likewise with Scott Furnace and all of the Special Olympics Indiana staff. We'll have them introduce themselves. And it takes a village. You've heard me, maybe have heard me say that in the past. It takes a village to do these things, and we could not have done it without the great partnership with all of these folks. So I want to thank Lilly. I want to thank the Lilly Foundation. I want to thank the team captains and all of the teams that have participated. And I won't ruin the surprise. I will save the statistics for the Special Olympics Indiana folks, because we've had a lot of people participate. We've had a lot of athletes participate, and we've raised a lot of money, and hopefully we've had a lot of fun. So we'll keep kicking through this. Ashley, do you want to jump in and say anything at the present time?
Yeah, I just want to say, thanks for everybody stepping up, all of the participants, employees and athletes. You guys rocked it. It was very impressive. And I really enjoyed kind of getting to know all of you a little bit more via SharePoint and Yammer and your social media posts. It was really exciting to see where you all got your steps in, what you were for Halloween. So thank you to everybody. It was really fun.
Yeah, I agree. It was a lot of fun. And I don't know about you, being on one of the teams helped me stay with it more. It kept me more engaged, and I thought about taking the long way around to add more steps so that I could add more to the total. I know from last year, and Scott and Jeff, who we'll introduce here in a minute, can probably speak to this, but I know from last year, some of the athletes that were involved last year really were excited about the opportunity. It got many of them out of the house and walking, and gave, I wouldn't say it gave them purpose, but it also gave us all purpose to come together and do something. And so we certainly tried to recreate that this year. So our hope for this event is that by participating, you were able to learn a bit about Special Olympics Indiana and the more than 18,000 athletes that they serve each year. Throughout the challenge, several athletes were featured in newsletters on Special Olympics Indiana's social media accounts. Hopefully you were able to watch and see some of those. Dakota Moore, a Team Indiana runner who won silver at the 2018 Special Olympics USA Games, and who is aiming for gold this summer. When he's not training and competing, Dakota works for Toyota Motor Manufacturing of Indiana in Southern Indiana. Hopefully you met Liam Price. He's a Team Indiana swimmer who is a Special Olympics U.S. Youth Ambassador and actually shared his story at this year's Bocce Bash. I got to shake hands with Liam in person that afternoon. What a fine individual he is. And he's a student at University of Indianapolis, where he joined the swim and dive team as a walk-on athlete. We introduced you to John Wheeler, who's a star basketball player for the Shelby County Magic and author of A Magical Season, his book about winning Special Olympics Indiana's 2019 state basketball tournament. John and his teammates will also be representing Special Olympics Indiana at the 2022 Special Olympics USA Games next June. We also introduced you to Liz Strong, Special Olympics Indiana's 2020 Athlete of the Year, honored for her unwavering positivity in overcoming challenges, including loss of vision caused by a gunshot to the head. Liz competes in bocce and has participated in both our Bocce Bash event here on Lilly's campus, so some of you may have met her in person. We introduced you to Katie Baumgartel, another Athlete of the Year who received that honor in 2018 after winning gold in the USA Games in Seattle and accomplishing a great deal as both an athlete and high school student. Katie will also be joining Team Indiana once again next summer and looking to build upon her gold and silver medals that she's already won. And finally, just recently, we introduced you to Clive Cavetta, a charismatic 8-year-old boy from Indianapolis who is just getting started in Special Olympics and has plenty to say about why others should join.
This is licensed by Nintendo product, and this is official, not bootleg. Can I tell you something? If your parents said you could only get one of these guys, if you want the Mario or Luigi, I would suggest Luigi.
Everybody likes Clive. When people meet Clive, they like him. My name is John Cavetta, and I'm the father of an athlete. His name is Clive Cavetta, and he is 8 years old, and he is my one and only, and I love him very, very much. When I first heard about my son potentially being diagnosed, when he was about 2 years old with autism, I don't think I'd ever been so sad.
To find out that there's anything that's short of what you think you're gonna get from your kid, it's hard.
We want everything to be what's best for our child. And I think that to know that he's only been on Earth for 2 years and that he already is being put in a position that is gonna be more challenging than maybe his peers, I think that right away, that was hard to accept. We became family members at the zoo, and we went there. And my son was so excited, and he was ready to get in there, and he's about 4 years old, and we went in there, and it was too much for him.
We made it about 20 feet into the first building before he couldn't go any further.
He was pretty quiet at first. Then he got kind of loud, and people are pulling their kids away and walking on. And
people have pulled out their cell phones and, hey, look, Mother of the Year and things like that. And it's horrible.
That was the moment that I knew. I was like, this isn't a diagnosis. This isn't we think your son is autistic. My son's autistic. And then the beautiful thing that came from that is it created in Jenny and I a determination that we weren't just gonna hide in our house.
We knuckled down, we turned our tickets into a membership, and we were like, we'll be back tomorrow. And we got a couple feet further the next day. And by the end of that summer, he might as well have owned the zoo. He was running all over the whole place. But we had to give him his space and his time to adjust and adapt to what he was comfortable with.
Special Olympics is actually very important to our family, and it is becoming more important. We joined a family, we joined a group, a community, and it's offering a lot more than just sports fundamentals.
It's nice because it's not just a community for Clive, it's a community for us, and it's support for us. It just lets us, spend time with other adults who get the struggles and who know some of the tricks and the resources that we haven't encountered yet, and just we can grow with it as he gets older and his needs change. We have those resources and those connections.
What's most important to see my son, he doesn't have to age out. He doesn't age out, and it is going to be something that he can have literally for his whole life.
I might stand Special Olympics for the rest of my life, so then like I'm gonna get tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of medals.
The most awesome part about it was seeing my son compete, but almost as amazing was just seeing all those other athletes.
I would say if you were considering joining Special Olympics, to just do it. You know, get your feet wet. You might not know if it's for you, but it probably is, because it's just such an open-hearted group of people. They meet you where you're at, and they encourage your family member to just do the best they can.
If you join, you might make a lot of friends like me. You should join Special Olympics.
With that, I am going to transition and introduce Scott Furness, Vice President of Development with Special Olympics Indiana, and Jeff Mueller, President and CEO of Special Olympics Indiana, to tell us more about Special Olympics Indiana and the 2022 Special Olympics USA Games.
Hello, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Scott.
And so, Ryan, Ashley, thank you so much for the incredible event, virtual event that we've just had this past month. It is certainly good to partner with Lilly again for the third year now. And while we've rolled with the punches of COVID, we haven't lost momentum in making sure that our athletes are staying engaged, whether they come to the corporate campus there in Indianapolis or they're competing in their own backyards. We certainly appreciate all that Lilly has done to activate our athletes. Thank you to all the team captains who are joining us for this call, but also the team captains who have participated, recruited teammates to join. We can't do this without you. It has been a fantastic 3-year partnership with Lilly, and it's all because of nothing really that we do, although we come up with some wild ideas for all of you to implement. It's really about the employee engagement there at Lilly. You guys are so community-minded, such servant leaders in your communities, and it is just fantastic for us to be part of this. Now, as Ryan has said, though, this whole challenge was about trying to kickstart Team Indiana as they are on their way preparing for the 2022 USA Games in Orlando, Florida next June. In fact, the team has their first training camp this next weekend, in which the team will get together, do some important team building exercises, do some important paperwork, but they got to do it. They're going to knock that out this weekend, but more importantly, they're going to really gather together as a team for the first time and get to know each other so that when they're in Orlando, it's not 9 different sports that we're competing in, it's one Team Indiana. And so thank you so much for all that Lilly has done to get that there. Now, 1,000-mile challenge. Why 1,000 miles? It just so happens that 1,000 miles is the distance from the Lilly corporate headquarters to Disney World, the main host of the USA Games next June, 1,000 miles. Now, our team certainly hopes to go there and come back, but at least we know that they're going to get there because they have done the steps and the miles to make sure that that happens. Now, each USA Games happens every 4 years. And every 4 years, more than 4,000 athletes from all 50 states and the District of Columbia come together for a sports competition, which includes a dramatic and inspiring opening ceremonies, a week of competition, award ceremonies, health screenings, souvenirs. Our athletes love souvenirs. And more importantly, though, it's an opportunity for them to get to know athletes from across the country. So often our athletes just compete at our state competitions, but it is something even more inspiring to know that Special Olympics is a nationwide and global movement. And so we thank Lilly for being part of this. I've had the honor of being part of every USA Games. It started in 2006 and every 4 years since then. And in fact, in 2014 and 2018, I was the head of delegation for Team Indiana. I've been part of every games and I will certainly be there next June as well. And Scott, you've been to all the games too, haven't you?
I did, going all the way back to 2006. I was the head of delegation. I've served as the head of officials for flag football at one of the competitions, and several times as the assistant head of delegation working for this. And I'm still around to tell about it.
We're glad
Well,
for
this
that.
year, this year's Team Indiana, though, is the largest ever. We have 100 people, 100 athletes, unified partners, coaches, and support staff who will be going down to Orlando next June. And like I said, for the first time, the team gets together this weekend for the first training camp. Now, it's enough for me and Scott to tell you about our experiences, but first timers to Team Indiana are joining us here today from Washington Township. That's the north side of Indianapolis. Part of our bocce team, a unified bocce pair. We're introducing to all of you here at Lilly to our Special Olympics athlete, Lynn Hanna, and our unified partner, Kristen Schoenfeld. Lynn, Kristen, thanks for joining us.
Yay.
Hi. Are we supposed to unmute now?
Yeah, you are unmuted, and because we want to hear from you. Now, like I said, though, you two are first timers. You've never been part of Team Indiana going to USA Games. Are you nervous?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, you're ready. I'm nervous and ready. Yeah.
Yeah,
And excited.
and excited.
Yeah.
What are you most excited for?
Just being with Kristen.
You're going to go all the way to Orlando just to be with Kristen?
Yeah,
How long have you known each other?
7.
We've known each other for about 10 years, and we've been bocce partners. We're going into our 7th year as partners. Yes.
Now,
Yeah.
Lynn, did you ever think you'd have the opportunity to compete at USA Games?
Were you pretty surprised, or
Yeah.
did you think this was going to happen?
This was actually going to happen.
Yeah. I think we were pretty surprised. That's
Yeah.
So for me, the answer was no. I don't think I thought that this would ever happen. So
Kristen, our audience may not be very familiar with unified sports. Can you tell us what it means to be a unified partner?
Sure. So as a unified partner, you get paired up with an athlete, and you compete alongside the athlete in various sports. Bocce is one of the sports, and another popular unified sport is track and field, bowling, and basketball. I mean, there's lots more, but those are some of the more popular ones. And you're definitely a huge part of the team, and it's a wonderful experience.
Now, just a couple of weeks ago, Kristen, and you're not one to brag about yourself, so I will. But just a couple of weeks ago, you were named the Indiana Volunteer of the Year. Can you share some of your backstory that earned you that title for 1 year?
Well, I got involved. Through my profession, I started working with an adult with special needs who is here right now, but she is very involved in Special Olympics, and she said that they needed partners for their unified Masters basketball team, and would I be a partner? And growing up, I loved sports. I lived for sports. I played sports all the time. I sometimes forget that I'm in my 50s now, and at that time I was in my 40s, but I very eagerly said yes, I would play on her unified basketball team. And that's how it all started. It was an incredible experience. I was in way over my head because this was a highly, highly competitive team. So from there, I signed up to be a partner for track, and you know, for anybody who might have that vision that you know, being a partner in Special Olympics is hand holding and you know, crossing the finish line, holding someone's hand. It is absolutely not that. So it was an incredible experience and required a great amount of practice. And I did feel like, you know, I felt like an athlete again, and it was super fun. So then we really found a good fit for me with bocce. And Lynn and I became bocce partners 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And we have vowed to be partners for life. It's a great sport for the middle-aged person to get involved in. So so that's how I got my start, and then have branched out to, you know, whatever I can, you know, get my hands on, any sort of athlete leadership opportunity or anything like that. So, and coaching, yes, and coaching too.
So Lynn and Kristen, if you were to look into your crystal ball next summer and you picture yourself out on the bocce court, I want you to close your eyes. I want you to tell me, what kind of medal or hardware are you going to bring home after next summer's games?
Gold.
Gold medal. That's what we're looking
Seconds
for.
hesitation.
I like it.
Yes.
Set those goals high and go achieve them. Well, Lynn, Kristen, thank you so much for joining us. Fabulous. I'm glad that the Lilly crowd here got to meet both of you. And I'm sure that you've got a bunch of fans here in Indianapolis that'll be cheering for you next June. So thank you for joining us. Good luck. And certainly we hope that you achieve your gold medal dreams.
Thank you.
Yep, I agree. Thanks, Lynn, Kristen, for sharing your stories. Jeff and Scott for joining us today to share a little bit more about what we're all walking to support. So it's just great to learn more about what all that we have done and are doing to partner and get all these folks down to Orlando and back, like you said. So appreciate that. So with that, we'd like to wrap up our second annual 1,000-mile step challenge by recognizing those among you who went above and beyond by presenting a few awards. Jeff and Scott, I'll turn it back over to you to give us the details and announce the winners.
Okay, now it's time for some hardware. We're going to get to the good stuff here. All funds raised by the Lilly Challenge directly support Special Olympics Indiana and our year-round programming. That includes USA Games, but is not limited to that. These funds will help us to get to Orlando as well. It's much appreciated. As you know, it is not inexpensive to take a group of 100 for a week-long trip there. So your funds were needed. It'll help for us to pay for travel, uniforms, and much more. With your support, we are on track to hit our fundraising goal so that we're not landing in Nashville, that we can actually make it all the way to Orlando. So on behalf of all of us, we're really happy with that. Through a combination of registration fee and the more than 100 teams that participated in this event, we have moved to more than $37,000 raised to support Team Indiana. That deserves a round of applause. We'll add a second to that later. Thank you for that. It's an amazing number. As a token of our appreciation, though, we do have a team that was clearly the champion fundraising team for us, leaving no doubt who the winner was. That is Team O, which was captained by Elizabeth Beerby. who raised more than $3,700, which is 10% of the total fundraising dollars. She joins us here today. This is unscripted. I cannot wait to hear a little bit about you and or your teammates and what motivated you to do so well.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much. And we had a wonderful time being a part of this event this month. You know, at Lilly, we talk a lot about well-being and how we can collaborate with each other, particularly in this pandemic. And this provided us an opportunity to, we had a few happy hours, we got together and walked together, and we were able to cheer each other on through this process. And while we raised the most money, we didn't come close to a lot of the other teams as it related to miles. I'm not sure we made it out of Georgia as a team, but we had a great time doing that. And thanks for an opportunity. And I just want to take an opportunity to also thank you, the volunteers that helped make this happen for these athletes. These athletes are truly inspiring what they accomplish every day. We use sports analogies in the workforce a lot about challenge and commitment and making a difference. And these athletes truly do that. And they really provide an inspiration to so much. So I wish the athletes the best of luck as they train and they show commitment and they face their challenges and as they get prepared for their competitions in 22. So thanks a lot for allowing us to be having the opportunity to be a part of this.
Well, Elizabeth, it's nice to meet you. This will be coming your way. I will tell you, you're my favorite and your team's my favorite participant, and it's okay with me that if you only made it to Georgia. But we're going to transition now into those that have walked a great distance.
Well, I'm going to say, though, that if happy hour is part of being on your team, Elizabeth, I want to sign up for your team next year.
You're going to have a waiting list.
Yeah.
I want to be on your team.
We definitely had fun, so thank you.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Congrats. Well, going on to the mileage totals, before we announce the top 3 teams, we've got a few numbers here to share with you, some fantastic numbers. First of all, 1,013. That's 1013. That's the number of participants in this year's challenge. And they participated on 104 teams. Wow, that's incredible. 86 of those teams, or 83%, 86 of the teams achieved the 1,000-mile challenge. And as a reminder, all members of those teams will receive a finisher's medal that we'll be getting to you here shortly. Collectively, of those 1,013 participants, all of you walked or ran or covered a distance of 132,707 miles, 132,707. And if you do the math, that's over 4,200 miles each day during our challenge. Incredible numbers. And thank you, because a good number of those miles were done by our athletes, motivated by each of you to get up off the couch and get those steps in. Congratulations, Team Lilly. Now, I know that we want to hand out some more awards. And for the second year in a row, the individual champion is a Special Olympics athlete. My good friend from Columbus, Indiana. He was on Team C2, Josh Hawley. Josh, congratulations. 2 years in a row as the individual champ.
Awesome.
And as we move on to our team totals, first we'll start off with our third place finishers. Team X1 with 2,164 miles, captained by Chanel Gillies. Congratulations, Chanel. Congratulations, Team X1, 2,164 miles. Way to go. In second place, our runners-up, covering 2,203 miles. Team W3, captained by Jorge Olivares. Jorge, Team W3, way to go, second place. And finally, our team champions, covering 2,493 miles. Team Y2, captained by Brent Harvey. Brent,
Yay.
Team Y2, congratulations.
Congratulations.
You are the champions, the team champions of the 2021 Lilly Challenge. And may I remind you, Brent and your teammates, that we've got $75 gift cards from our partners at Finish Line for each of you waiting as well. So congratulations to all the teams. Congratulations to Josh. Congratulations to our top 3 teams. Way to go. Finally, on behalf of Scott, myself, and Special Olympics Indiana, and all of our athletes, thank you so much to Ryan, Ashley, for all your leadership in this. Thank you to the team captains, and thank you to all the employees of Lilly who participated in this challenge. We couldn't have done it without you. And we certainly will see you again next year. Thank you.